Hello, we are trying to go live. I'm gonna see if we can tag Miss Darie on here. Author Darie. I think hopefully we can get her, and that'll be so cool. So,
Hello.
oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I chose YouTube because Instagram didn't work last time. So
Hmm.
I was like, okay, so it's easier. And then he popped on, and I was like, okay, fine. So we'll just start doing it on Instagram. So at this point, I don't know. I'm not going to tell anybody just to like, we'll be here.
Hmm.
We fall where we may. So let me get the introduction down. So the video. So I'm going to do
All
the
right.
video. Hey guys, welcome to MWN Serial Writing. Today I am here talking to the beautiful Darie McCoy. And I'm gonna have you, I know that you currently finished draft pick season 4.
Hmm.
And if you guys haven't checked it out, she's gonna give you her all her information. But I want you to say the whole name because I don't think I said the character's name correctly. And I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure. So if you don't know what the show is about, it's basically where we talk about the techniques of serial writing and how we do our publishing platforms and our marketing techniques that we use, and just go back and forth, just having a talky talk between each other. And I think this is not addressed, or a lot of more people need to start talking about their methods and to find those readers that we lost when Kindle Vella kind of went away. This is like my whole
Hmm.
goal in that. And so, and I don't see a lot of people doing this anymore. And I would love to get more authors to just sit here and, talk. So probably about, expect like about an hour to an hour and a half, or we might get off subject, but or
Okay.
technical
Just a little
difficulties as as we have gotten today. But hey, we worked it out, and I'm so glad. So tell them a little bit about what you're writing, or what you finished writing, and now that you're going into your another, or what's happening in between, and then go
bit.
from
Okay.
there. We'll start talking.
All right. So what I just finished was book 4 in my draft pick series, and
Mm-hmm.
they are each book in the series is titled with a season. So season 1 is Carver, season 2 is Andrei, season 3 is Denzel, and season 4 is Vitali, who is also
Mm-hmm.
Andrei's younger brother. So
Okay, but that was Vitaly, because I wasn't
yeah,
sure if I was saying that right. I think,
yes.
yeah, I
So
wanted to
yeah.
make sure I said it right.
Yeah. So
Okay,
he is
cool.
the youngest Antonov and the second Antonov brother. They do not have any more siblings. My Patreon has asked me about, hey, any long lost siblings, any cousins or something. But they were his father was an only child, so
Okay.
and his mother had she's of course was not an Antonov, and she had a not that great brother whose children I don't want to meet if he had any.
So, I know this is one of the technique questions. Do you have like a story Bible to keep up with the family and the family tree and things and stuff like that?
I
Are you
do.
building that?
So actually, because I'm a STEM girly, and I love spreadsheets. To a degree, I love spreadsheets. I'm not a complete spreadsheet junkie. I don't do all the macros and all that stuff that people put in spreadsheets, but it helps me organize my thoughts. So
Hmm.
each story that I write has a sheet in the spreadsheet,
Hmm.
and there's a column in each spreadsheet that if there's a character that appears in the story, it tells you how they're related to the main character. So,
Okay.
like in Andrei's sheet, it has Vitali as his younger brother, and it has all the, characteristics or whatever. But in Vitali's sheet, he's the main character, so it shows Andrei is his brother. But everybody else that appears in the book is somehow in relation to him. But I have also like created a big like graphic that
Oh
has okay, here's the
wow.
character, here's the book they appear in, and here's how they're related. So it got kind of massive kind of fast. So
So I need to
But,
do that for like I need to do like a get the Canva whiteboard and just start
hmm
going from one book to another.
Yeah.
Because like yeah, they kind of like connect in some kind of way. But I think
hmm
it's so much easier if you just pull from one of your old books and like, oh, I like this character instead of just, hey, let's just make a whole new standalone character.
Exactly.
It just
No.
it feels
Yeah.
so easy to do. So I never we're like so off.
Yeah, no. But that's actually like one of the things that like it actually because you were speaking earlier about finding that audience that you had in Vela. So quite a few of my Vela audience followed me to
Hmm.
Patreon. And more
Okay.
came after they shut Vela down. And I'm very happy because I love the interaction, their
Hmm.
questions, their feedback. It's been great for my writing process. I'm going to
Okay.
sneeze.
That's all right. Love
Sorry.
those. That's all right.
But so, and that was actually like one of the questions they asked me, as far as if I had some kind of sheet, something that showed the interactions. So I was like
Right.
doing different things, like was it a family tree? And there was some
Hmm.
things that were just too chaotic for my mind because the lines started
Right.
overlapping and you couldn't tell where a line was going. So I have a couple of different sheets. I just have one. I have one for my paranormal stories and then one for my more contemporary sports romance based in reality kind of stories. But it is helpful. It's helpful for readers, especially
Right.
if readers aren't familiar with me, if they're new to me, or if
Right.
they recently joined my Patreon, or like because there's some of my Patreon subscribers who do not read paranormal, so they don't know anything about that stuff over there, or or vice versa.
Hmm.
So it interconnects the worlds, but those two worlds don't cross over so far because I have not mentioned anything about paranormal in my real life books, so. But
Okay.
yeah, that is how it happens. That's as far as my main thing I use as a spreadsheet as my story Bible. And so yeah, my computer crashed like almost a year ago to this day, last year, and like it wouldn't charge. So I got some stuff, but I lost a big chunk of my story Bible that I have to rebuild.
Oh
Um,
God.
so as I'm writing, I like had to go back to other stories, and I'm like, okay, because I have some of them, I just don't have all
Hmm.
of them. So I've been just like kind of rebuilding, characteristics of the character because I'm like, I don't want to say in one book that this guy is 6'3", and then the next book he's 6'8", because
Right. Right.
I'm the
Yeah.
kind of reader that will remember that, and I think I do
Yes.
also have the kind of readers who read my books who remember, like I thought he
Right.
was,
I like
so.
when they check you. That is so fun when they check you. So before we get off track, where can people find your books or your stories and connect to everything?
Okay, so I'm on Amazon, but I'm also wide. So I'm on Barnes and Noble, Kobo Plus. So if you are trying to get away from the Zon and Kindle Unlimited, I am on Kobo Plus for anything that's not in KU. I have about 5 books in KU right now,
Hmm.
um, and 3 of them have to stay in KU because of the world that I was writing in was collaborative, and those books are exclusive to KU. And if you want paperbacks, you can get them from me, or I have them available through Drafter Digital, which means you can order them through wherever you normally order if it's not
Right.
Amazon.
Hmm.
But
For the serial writing, where can they find you though?
for the serial writing, it is exclusive to my Patreon. And
Okay.
I am not searchable because I'm an 18 plus. So you do have to have the link. But if you go to my website, which is www.dariemccoyllc.com. There
Uh-huh.
is a link directly to my Patreon. So all you have to do is click it. It'll take you right there. You don't have to search for me. Um, so that has been an issue because and I didn't want to not be honest about being 18 plus because I'm not trying to get banned or anything like that. So
Yeah, definitely.
so you have to
Definitely.
you have to put it up there, but that also means that I'm not searchable. And so you
Yeah.
have to have the link to get to me. So
And then
that there's
that's another question I was gonna ask because you're my first like kind of adult erotic romance author that I've interviewed. So there are some things that, we have to put in place or let people
Mhm.
know, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
But if anybody's interested in my story, so right now I am writing Her Substitute Husband, His Brothers. I am on chapter 20. Don't ask me when it's going to stop, but I think I just hit arc 2. I'm just about to hit arc 2 in the
Mhm.
story. So that's pretty good for me. But you can always check out my story that I'm currently writing at sylviahubbard.com. And then you can just go into the book part and see the life stories taking place there. Or I think I have it at sylviahubbard.com/life story. And then you'll see like all the life stories for that year. And the top one should be her substitute
Mhm.
husband, his brothers. And this is just basically about Tori coming into a fake marriage. She's a fake marriage,
Mhm.
and then she gets involved with his brothers as well. So, I mean, the title says it all.
Mhm. Right.
Pretty much says it all. Okay, so let's go into techniques. As
Okay.
you are starting your story, or in the middle of the story, or how do you pick? Because you're in the middle, you're about to start a new one. How do you pick what's next in your serial writing?
So I actually polled my Patreon to see where they
Mm-hmm.
would like me to go, because I know where the characters that are in my head that I could probably start writing on.
Right.
So I kind of poll them, and then I also look at where I am with my releases, because my normal I'm gonna write this and try to get it out in 3 or 4 months kind of release. I have that going alongside whatever serial I'm writing.
Right.
So I try to look at that, because like right now I have to write, there's the next serial that I'm actually going to write, I'm slipping into my paranormal world, because
Oh, okay.
so
That
we'll
is
go, because you
cool.
can't see it in there. So Black to Summit, Central Valley Pack is my main paranormal series, but Black
Uh-huh.
to Summit is an offshoot of
Okay.
Central Valley Pack. So I'm going to slip into that, because there's
Hmm.
things that have to happen in the Black to Summit series before I can write anything else in the Central Valley Pack world.
I like
So,
that.
so that has pushed them to the front. So,
That is
but
understand, yeah, because there's like things and happen in my books, and people are like, "Oh, but we want the story of this character," and I'm like, "This character story cannot come to life until I do this, this, and this," and it's
yeah,
like
things have to be in
you guys
place.
don't understand. It's to us, it's kind of like a real motion of things have to happen in order for us to create that believability in our
Right.
stories itself. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like I can't do this until I get the baby mama drama fixed over here
Right.
because this is his
Right.
girl and y'all don't know it. But
Right. Because
stop
I mean, if
asking me
you
about
go
that
off,
story.
yeah, if you
Right,
go off and start doing that, then there's all these questions of, well, how did these two, wait, what about this? So you're really
right,
trying to get that. And also I've recently learned that there are some people who skip over flashbacks. So I'm like, you can't put it all in a flashback. Yeah, I don't know, because it's pertinent information to me as a reader. But anyway, there are people who skip over flashbacks. So I'm like, I can't put all this in a flashback, because what if I'm dealing with a reader who doesn't read flashbacks?
right. And I
And
did
now
have
I've
that. Like,
clarified and they didn't read it.
yeah, I had that issue with a editor who was going through my stuff, and then I had something in a flashback. It was a very hard moment,
Mhm.
Hey, this stuff is happening in the flashback, and then I also then mentioned kind of like they were in a conversation in current day, and she's like, well, remember when this happened and blah blah blah. So I spent like a whole paragraph, and it was like, well, that's repetitive, they're not gonna, she's like, you don't really need that. And I was like, you know what, I would sit here and go back and forth and say, okay, I maybe don't need it, but I know it's gonna be that one reader who didn't read that flashback
Mhm.
just decided to
And then
skip the
they're going to be mad
prologue.
at you because you didn't explain more. Like, I don't
Right,
understand where this came from. Maybe you skipped the flashback.
right.
That's why you don't know.
So
You skipped the flashback.
like we had to compromise and just cut this sentence kind of short and then just have it as like a hint of something
Mhm.
like okay so that's the only way we could get it because she was like well this is just too much it's just repetitive and I was like I know it's needed I know it's because I knew this was like going to be an important thing, and somebody was going to
Mhm.
come back and say, "Hey, wait a minute, when did you say this happened?" Mm.
Mhm. Yeah. Right. Right. So needless to say, in order to make sure that I have that all shored up, I've got to do some
Mhm.
Black Tooth Summit before I can go into the next thing for Central Valley Pack. And trust me,
Okay.
I mean, if nobody other than my writing partners, somebody is going to remind me that, hey, you haven't written my man's story yet, because they picked out the man based on the character they met in the other book. You know this, that's what
Okay.
people do. They read your book and they find their boyfriend. And I'm like, when you write my boyfriend story, why you haven't wrote my boyfriend story yet? I have writing partners who do that to me.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
Brianna is like, where's my man's story when you gonna write it?
Okay. So have
I'm not
you,
gonna bug you, I'm just gonna tell you my man.
so are you a plotter or a pantser in this case, where you just kind of say, hey, I'm just going to sit down and do it? I mean, you kind of already know who he
Mhm.
is, what he is. So how do you set those up?
So it's mostly up here. I tried plotting. I really have, and I would love to be a plotter. Like I'll sit down and just have this like word vomit of everything I know about the characters and everything I know about the story, and I just kind of put it all in a doc, and
Hmm.
then I'm able to start writing. But every now and again, they won't let me do that. They just like, get over there, start writing. I'll tell you
Right.
what happened.
So
I'll
start
tell you what
talking,
happened.
like
Just
immediately
open the
start.
document. I'll tell you what happened.
Right.
So,
And I love that word vomit, because that's what, yeah, a lot
mhm,
of times, and I'll say, well, I'm kind of like a discovery writer, or
mhm,
I'm, a planter, where,
mhm,
I'll kind of put everything on a piece of paper. It'll end up being like sheets of paper. Okay, I see this scene. I see this scene. I know this
mhm,
person, and I know he's like this and stuff like that. And then they'll start immediately like talking. Okay, we're ready to start telling you what
mhm.
happened, and you want to
Right.
catch it. You want to catch the initial essence of that voice that
Right.
they're trying to push on you. And a lot of, like, when I talk to plotters, they're like, no, you gotta, set up this and set up like, you don't understand. If I don't address that issue in my head, I can't do nothing else.
Right. It is really almost like they set up a barricade, like you're not doing what they want, so they won't do what you want.
Right.
Or if you do put something down, it feels stiff and not like it's
Right.
not supposed to be there. And that's because you're trying to make them do what you want them to do. My first
Right.
two books, I did plot, and I ended up like I had my little outline over there. I'm like, oh, so I get to that part of the outline. I was like, this is what we're doing first. This is what we're doing next. Okay, and they're not complaining about that we're doing it next. But before I was like, okay, that's all supposed to be in this chapter, and they were like, oh, well, no, more needs to be said. So you need to move that down. We'll
Mhm.
get to it. We're not doing it right now.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a very loose guide.
Oh, good Lord.
So,
It then starts to affect your personal life, and then you can't eat.
mhm.
Then, I mean, other things start going wrong, because that's all
Yeah,
you hear is that. Okay,
yeah,
you're saying, okay, I need an outline, but hey, you're just talking. I can't hear nobody else. Nobody
right.
else is talking to me but that person. So it's like, ah.
Yeah,
So yes,
yeah. Because
they just
I
don't
think my
understand.
favorite thing ever is when they give me something pretty early in the book and I'll mention it, but I don't know why, because it seems very
Oh,
benign.
I
And then,
know,
like,
the little red
midway toward
herring.
the
Oh my
end,
God.
I'm like, oh, that's why you told me that? That's why I had to write that? Because it didn't make any sense to me when I was writing it, but hey, gotta write it
Do
or they
you?
stop talking to you. So you're like, oh. It makes perfect sense. Nicole and I have that discussion a lot. I was like, and she was, because I know I figured out something, and she was like, yeah, you didn't know that? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. They didn't tell me
Right.
that. Like, I don't appreciate you knowing stuff about my character that I didn't even know that stuff.
Right. Oh, those are so much fun. Yeah, those are, so you're like, oh my God, I can just grab it, and oh my God, it just works out. And oh, don't be in
Mhm.
the shower, because you be to kill yourself trying to get.
Mine like to do it when I'm driving. So for the most part, they leave me alone
Um,
in the shower. They like to do it when I'm driving somewhere. Like, I need to pay attention to the road. No, not really. You can do this while you drive. That's not important.
Right. Oh, that's so much. Yeah, I get
Mhm.
that too. I've now learned how to push the microphone button on my text message, so I can just start texting. But then sometimes I'll get so into it, I'll hit send, but I don't know who I'm sending that text message. So then people will be like, what is this
Do
for?"
that so
And I'm
much.
like, girl, don't worry about it. I just had to copy some notes down for my story, whatever.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that'll
I
be a
have
horrible thing.
I actually make it to the voice to the notes app, and then I go. So I make it to the notes application. I
Yeah,
open that up, and then I hit it, and and after I read it back, I'm like, what was that word? That is not the word, because notes, me and my southern accent that I don't think is as pronounced apparently as it is.
let's pick it all
The
up.
notes is like, that's the word that I heard. I don't know what to tell you. I heard this word. So, like, this word makes no sense in this sentence, and I spent some time trying to figure out what was that I was trying to say. Oh, that's it.
Right.
But you got to get it
Now,
out when it comes, otherwise it might go away and not come back.
right. Now, how I do mine is like, yeah, I am, like I said, a planter or more like a discovery author. So I'll start, writing, throw, like you said, word vomit. Then I'll
Hmm.
throw everything on paper. And then once okay, I'm stopping for today. I'll usually leave like a sentence there to say, okay, this is what I want to happen next, or don't forget to talk about this. And so then when I sit down the next time, I can just immediately, okay, this is where I'm going next. I'm going in that
Hmm.
direction next. And then I'll start typing in that direction and kind of discover where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
So it kind of like and I really don't, because I was telling somebody who was trying to understand. He was a nonfiction author trying to understand, how did I, just sit down and write. And I was like, usually I'm trying to fuddle my way through, and I don't know until I go through that scene. I won't know what happens next in other scenes until I go through this scene. How did
Hmm.
this scene turn out? And then I don't know if after an argument, do I still love him? Or does he still love me? Or was something revealed during that argument? Because that'll tell me where I need to go. Because if
Hmm.
something wasn't revealed, then I need to go find out why wasn't it revealed. How can I
Yep.
get it revealed? So it's
Yep.
it's kind of like, that's when I say I'm a discovery writer, because
Hmm.
I'm constantly trying to figure out, okay, how can I discover this to get to here? How can I discover this to get to here? So it to me it makes sense. To other
Hmm.
people who are plotters, they're just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, how do you just
Yeah. They are
do that?
horrified. They
Like,
are horrified. And I do something similar. If I'm writing wherever I stop for the day, I leave myself a little note. Those are always, now, because I have a system, they're always magenta colored. I highlight them in magenta, so I know
oh,
that is something that I need to address. Either it's going to be the next thing, or it's got to be addressed at some point. So I put
I
it like
like
right at
that.
the end, and I color it magenta so that I know, oh, this is either where I'm going or something I need to address. So
Oh,
at the end of all my docs, there's like this little stack of magenta highlighted stuff, and if
oh,
it
you
has a
just
strike
push them
through,
down.
yeah.
Okay, I like
So if it has
that.
a
I like that.
yeah, if it has a strike through, it means I've done it. If it doesn't, I haven't done it, and then I have to
Oh,
look at it and decide, is this something that actually needs to go in there, or was it just one of those things that sounded good in the moment?
I like
So.
that you keep yours. Sometimes I'll put it over in my OneNote where I have kind of like my story Bible for that story,
Mhm.
and I'll once I do it, I take it out of there, and then I put it over there so I can kind of keep it up, like in case I'm doing an interview on it, and then somebody,
Mhm.
well, how did you come to there? And you know what? It was a sentence that said this. this is
Mhm.
this is how I found. So I like that. I think I might do that, and then you can just keep up with it to make sure you do it, because
Mhm.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, thanks.
so the most challenging question I like to ask. If you have any questions about writing or anything, please just toss it out. So the most challenging
Okay.
question I like to ask is, how do you feel your serial writing is different from others, to that readers really need to be checking out? How do you feel like your serial writing is different, even if it's different from, like, how do you write, the difference between your fiction and your serial, or what makes your writing so unique?
Okay. So the difference between my serials and anything else that I write is that it gives, because it is a serial, I am able to explore more day-to-day stuff with the characters
Mm-hmm.
as they develop, and you can watch their development. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you have a cap, like this story is going to be 80K, and you know the story is going to be 80K, you know you have to move. You have to move something along. You can't spend two
Right.
chapters or three chapters on a particular issue because you've got to move the story.
Right.
So with your serial, you're able to spend more time with the characters, and you're able to investigate any little offshoot because it has affected them in some way. You know, there's some
Mm-hmm.
offshoot that in a normal a 70, 80K document, you may compress to a page worth of stuff. And in a serial, you can give it a whole chapter for the character to really explore, talk about how they feel. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
can have some stuff done to them if it's necessary for things to be done, and you can put it on page instead of it being off page and saying it happened. So and that
I
and
like
that
that.
and yeah, so that is a difference for me. And now, granted, since I do eventually publish my serials, that brings a whole other set of problems because they are big and fat, and those big fat books cost big fat money to get through the publishing process.
Don't even.
So,
We're gonna go into that, but
but
I'm just
that is what
like,
I
can
see
I just?
different. But
Oh my
yeah.
God, I'd be like, can I just keep it under 100,000? If I could just keep it under, but that is so hard to choose what you want to put in, keep in, and take out because even now I'm going through the issue where she back in the day she was a bully, she was a really horrible person, and I wanted to bring
Hmm.
like one of those characters to life. Well, what happens to those kind of people? And she, instead of her waiting for love to change who she was, she decided she was going to love herself and change who she was before love happened. But
Hmm.
now she found out there is a plot to take away everything she has and all the work she's done, ruin her reputation. Um,
Hmm.
and he was trying to decide, like, well, if it's for me, it's for me, and I'm not
Right.
gonna fight what they're trying to do. And maybe me losing everything will heal them. And it's hard not to bring up when people are like discussing stuff with her. And she's not a stupid girl, so she
Hmm.
knows they're plotting and planning against her, but she's just having fun with the brothers. Like, okay, y'all doing all this stuff, but you know what? I'm having fun.
Hmm.
So I'm being a little selfish, in that department while letting y'all think this is all going as planned. Um, and it's hard trying not to talk about it constantly because that's what she's thinking. Like, you're lying to my face, but that's
Hmm.
okay. And that is so hard. Like, it's an offshoot. Like, she knows why you're doing what you're doing. So it's kind of hard trying to. I'm telling myself, rein it in because you want to eventually publish this. You want to
That's the
eventually.
part. Eventually, you want to publish this. But
You want to publish
here's
this.
the question. Here's the question, because I know it's something I deal with because I'm writing a serial, and and many of the readers that follow me from Villa, that format is what we are accustomed to. So I'm writing and I'm releasing, 3 episodes or so a week of whatever the serial is that I'm writing, and I'm
Hmm.
getting this interaction with the readers, and it's like, and they are so freaking smart and insightful that you're like, okay, they also spawn things in my mind. My character's like, yeah, what are we going to do about that now that she's brought it up? So do you experience that with the people who are reading your serials, that they come back and they actually ping your characters, and your characters are like, you know what, she's right, we need to talk about it, we need to do something about that. So,
Right. And I have had that. I have had that where they'll, say, hey, what about this thing? And, her brother was also doing it or something like that. And they even caught me this week. They caught me they hit me up this weekend and they were like, wait a minute, because I left a high cliffhanger at the end where she
mhm,
found out that her father and he was married to his sister, which were their brothers. And so then I was like, oops, okay. So one of the readers is like, so that would make them cousins, right? Right. Ooh, okay.
Ma'am.
Um,
Those lines are crossing all kind of ways.
so I was kind of glad I held off because I was like, oh, I'll do a treat for my readers and release some chapters for the weekend. Just, hey, let's do this. And then I'm in the middle of editing when I got that email, and I was like, well, let's try to rectify this. They're in the middle of a dance, and I was kind of glad I could insert something. So they're talking through the dance, and I could fix.
Mm-hmm.
I could fix that little. Okay, well, let's say found family.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh Jesus, oh Jesus,
Now, I've
but
heard
then
some stories that might
that's
end up in a
what
book, so I'll leave that to myself. But I've heard some stories about some cousins now.
okay, I don't want to get that erotic. So let's
Mhm.
pull it back a little and go down here. So I was
Okay.
like, yeah, but I like when they check you and you do
Mhm.
have to like check yourself, or then you have to be like, okay, yeah, she should have thought about this as well. Because I
Mhm.
think their input, and a lot of people wonder who read just fiction books, like, okay, what is the appeal of serial writing? The serial readers, the appeal
Mhm.
is that you are with the author thinking of the story at the same time, and
Mhm.
your input just really opens us up to the possibilities of making characters so real. You
Mhm.
really cannot dispute that you are in that story, and
Right.
that does help us see the
Mhm.
story in a whole new light and even bring out even more characteristics that can help the story, that will strengthen the story and make it even 10
Absolutely.
times better. So
Absolutely.
that's what serial readers do get out of it, and I know they enjoy it. I Because you can hear the excitement in the comments.
Mhm.
The comments
Mhm.
just jump off the page, and even when they send you those side notes, I get a lot of readers who'll send me emails, like literally send me just private emails and be like,
Mhm.
"Girl, okay, let me get this straight." And
Right.
they want to
But I
leave it
love
as a
those. I
comment
love
because they
those.
got this long paragraph. I know you're busy, but
Mhm. Oh my goodness, I love it when readers talk about your characters because they're real people to them. And that means
right,
to me, you have done your job. You have created a whole person
yeah,
that they are drawn to, they care about, and they care about everybody that's attached to them. Is like, and of course, it also leads to the mayhem that some people do in books, the unhingedness of it all, because I know he's not going to let him get away with that. No, girl, he's not. You know, he's crazy. you know. So, and now I say that part to myself, but as I'm trying to like, oh well, we'll see, we'll see. But to
we'll
myself, I'm like,
see.
girl, you know that man crazy. you know that man not wrapped too tight. Every now and again, that slips out of my fingertips, and I post that. You know that man not wrapped too tight. Because it is what it is.
Now
But
you said you post 3 times a week. In your posting schedule, you post at least 3 times a week to your
at least.
stories. Are you posting like the full chapter, or are you posting like so much? Do you create, like, make sure you're only doing so many words in each post, or how do you do that?
Um, I do try to keep with my serials. I do try to keep kind of the same format I was using with Vella, which is
Mm-hmm.
if I do 3 episodes a week, that those 3 episodes pretty much are one chapter. Most of the
Oh,
time,
okay.
it ends up being one chapter. Because like I said, big fat book, and in big fat books, your chapters are roughly 3K or maybe a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. So,
Great.
and since I'm wordy, it might be over sometimes a lot. But either way, I try to get at least three,
Mm-hmm.
for that in a week. But since I'm also writing other stuff, that might mean that there's, on there might be content every day on my website. I mean, on my Patreon, it might be every day that you get something. but it might not
Okay.
always be the serial because you're there. That some I don't have a level that is just for the serials. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should, but Patreon has certain things that they allow you to charge or whatever. So I don't have a level that's just for the serials. If you're just there for the serial and only get
Right.
that, I don't have that right now. So you're getting other stuff too. Now, if you don't want that stuff, you don't have to open it. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Either way, whatever 2 or 3 things I'm writing, mainly 2 because my other pen name doesn't post. I don't post as much because those are bigger chunks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's still you end up getting something almost every day, and at least
Okay.
2 or 3 of those will be the serial. So,
Okay.
and no matter what, it's going to be an entire chapter, whether it's 1,500 words, whether it's 1,000 words or 1,200. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
enough. And always, it's of course you're writing a serial, so there's always just a little bit of cliffhangerness to wet your whistle so that you want to
Right.
grab that next episode when it comes up. So that's the one thing that it has done, writing serially has done for me. It
Mm-hmm.
had pushed me to think about the chapter kind of the same way we learned about storytelling in English class. You
Mm-hmm.
have your beginning, your climax, and it's pushed me to kind of write that way so
Mm-hmm.
that there's that anticipation for what is going to happen next, and that'll happen
Right.
within the episode. So
Okay.
so
Cool.
sometimes so sometimes the episode is a little more informative than anything. I'm like, girl, did nothing happen in this episode. What are you doing?
Right. It does. Well, sometimes it don't feel like it, or sometimes they go like really fast. I know I do try
Mhm,
to do in the beginning, I do try to post like every day, or I'll try to get a chapter out like every day. So in the first like 2 weeks of the story, I'm posting a chapter a day. Right now
mhm,
for this one, I think it's because I have 4 people involved into the story. They're a little longer. So
mhm.
but I'm only doing, I decided to only do one point of view in this one because
Oh.
I was like, I knew if I did 2, it was going to be bigger. It was going to be bigger. But I was like, I wanted to see how I'm kind of challenging myself to see if I can get through the whole story with one point of view. Whereas since she used to be a manipulator, she can get information that she needs out of each brother to move the
Mm,
story forward, to see what her actions are going to be. So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can move the story forward without having all of their point of views in my head, because I
mhm,
was like, that's a little bit, because this is my first foursome. It's like a threesome reverse harem, but it's like a lot of
mhm,
guys, and I didn't really want
mhm.
all of them.
All those people in your head, or to put all
Yeah,
that's a lot of chapters. So I get it. Or the shorter
right.
chapter. Like you don't have any uprising on your head about not being able to find out what the guys are thinking. I'm just asking,
Well,
just asking if there's an uprising.
since they're brothers, I kind of I see where all of them are in each other's lives. They're
Mhm,
so intertwined in each other's lives that I can almost tell by the way they're addressing her what they're trying to get out of her.
okay.
So it's, to me, it's working. And it's really,
Mhm,
I kind of like the mystery of not knowing what they're gonna do. Kind of just
mm,
seeing it from her point of view, and just like you're in the room with all 3 of them. What's gonna happen?
mhm,
What are they really going to stick to their guns, or are they really going to stick to where, what they want to do, or what they really really want to do?
mhm,
So it's kind of like she and it's kind of she's finding out she has the control. She's realizing she really has the control of them, and
mhm.
she's coming into her power, and like, oh my god, and I could
Mhm.
wrap these people around my
Right.
finger, and it's kind of
Right.
cool, like, mm, I'm like dancing every time I like.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
But each chapter comes out, I'm averaging about 3,500 a chapter.
Okay.
Um, And I know that's a lot for readers, but they are acclimating to it because there is a lot going on, because it's not just this romance that's happening, it is the manipulation in the background, and then
Mm-hmm.
also their father disappeared a long time ago, and they're trying to figure out, well, what happened to the body. Did one of the brothers really commit murder?
See the drama
And
of it all. Okay.
the drama of it all, and then so she don't know if she, a bunch of killers or a bunch of people who, covered up something that was really horrible, and then on top
Mm-hmm.
of that, her Netherlands sister, who just, have this love-hate relationship with her. It's kind of like a jealousy love relationship with her, so she's going through that as well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, let's see what happens. So I'm just, yeah, I keep it, but I try to keep them between about 35. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now, since we are past the chapter 14, I have now, and all of these chapters are free. I do them actually all free until chapter 20, when then it
Mm-hmm.
becomes either you have to officially sign up, be a premium reader, or you're a member already. So you can be a premium member, and you'll get, like, once the story is done, you'll actually get the whole EPUB of it. And then for the members, they automatically have the password where you can just continue, and the premium members all have the password to continue reading the
Mm-hmm.
story.
Okay.
So I did it like that to kind of, well, I think it's a deal. You've
Yeah.
already got a good
Yeah.
36,000
Yeah.
words.
Right. That's almost a whole book in anyone else's world. You've gotten
Right,
almost a whole book for free. Yeah.
right. And
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 see,
now you just have to sign up. I mean, and then right now I'm only charging like $6.99, because this is an unedited book and everything.
mm-hmm.
Once it's all done, then I jump over to either $8.99 or 10.99 or $9.99. I'll put it there, and I'll make the book audio. And then if it's not too big,
Mm-hmm.
we might do a paperback. Might do a paperback.
Girl, I'm telling you. And just for reference, these are my serials that started out on Vela. And you see how they
Yeah,
progressively got bigger?
right. I know.
They
My
are
last
fat.
one was, I'm almost at 400. I was at 400 pages. 400 pages in the last one. And I know the one that, and that didn't even go to Vela. I was about to
Mhm.
put, that was my next Vela before they shut the program down. I was actually about to push that one over there. But then the one that I'm coming out, Delilah's Desire,
Mhm.
that one literally is going to be about 500 pages. And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
we're
and I
not
was
gonna.
asking my editor, can we shave it? And she read it, and she's like, no, it's so
Where?
good.
Yeah, that's the
She was,
problem. Where?
and
Where
you
would you
don't want to
shave it?
break
That's
it
it's
up.
good.
Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
break it up, and you don't want to. I mean, I'm not trying to compete with, Stephen King's The Stand, but you kind of got to go like,
Yeah, I
hey,
read that.
this,
Yeah, I read
and
it.
I
I
think,
own a copy. I could pull it off my bookshelf and show it to you right now. So it people do it. They will buy it if they love you, if they
and
love your writing, if they love the
that's why I
stories, they will
said,
buy it.
yeah, and that's why I am at that point of, if they really want this book, they're gonna buy it, and even if, with all the costs that are, the even more costs that are now involved in it, hey,
Hmm.
if it's a $25 book, and you really want this on your shelf,
It's a twenty
you
five
can
dollar.
have it. You can, you can have it.
I mean that is where I am right now. These are $25 books, and it just
Right,
is what it is because they're
right.
big. They're big, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of story there, but they're big. And I mean, and I don't know where I would do it, but I'm gonna have to try to revamp something. Not revamp because the story is gonna remain the same, but some stuff that my Patreon subscribers had privy to, everybody else is not gonna have all of that possibly when I publish Vitali, because it is almost
Okay.
200K. where it is now, it is almost 200K. That is really freaking big.
Right.
So people
I
are
gotta
serious.
see how I think Essence Divinity was about 200K. And yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. So yeah, it's gonna be about 400 is
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So
and one other thing with that, since I am finished with that one, that is actually, if you don't want to subscribe to my Patreon, but you started reading that novella and because I have no idea when I'm going to be able to publish it at this point. I'm
mhm.
working on it, but I don't know when
Mhm.
it's going to be published. But if you still want to read everything that happened, you want to make sure you have the unabridged version of everything that happened. That collection is actually individually for sale on my Patreon. You can just a one-time fee. You don't have to join the Patreon and pay monthly. You just
Okay,
pay
that's good.
once and you have access to that story.
That
So,
is good.
so
Yeah. And that's what I started doing too, is that I am putting her substitute husband, which ended up being over 300,000 words.
I
I'm
could
gonna,
imagine because I would see you talking about it and like, oh girl, how big is this thing getting?
girl, that was 336 by the end. And it's still part 5 that needs to be kind of like a wrap up. And we were bringing his
Hmm.
brother from Germany. And so I haven't even done that one. I was like, that's
Yeah.
going to clearly almost be a 500K book
Hmm.
easily.
Yeah.
This probably will never, ever, ever go to print unless
Now,
somebody fly in and I get a publishing fairy.
question: are you thinking of possibly doing something similar to what Pepper Pace did with the Galatian Exchange, where she just kind of, when she published it, it was, she did end up breaking it up because, as you move from one part of the story to the next, and the people you started out with weren't necessarily the focus anymore, you
Mm-hmm.
could kind of break it and then move to the next people, and just have it
Now I
as
was
more of a
thinking that
series of
because
books.
I know the scene where it happens. I imagine but I'm not sure if that is in the middle of the book or or when the deception of what the second protagonist Mel did, and then I can
Hmm.
break it up there. I I saw hers, and then I think she had one. I think was it her where they had one that was like this thick, and it was like
Yeah.
it was like
That
how.
Galatian Exchange was huge. It's
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was her. And she was like flipping through it. And I'm like, oh my God. Or just waiting for the fifth one to finish and then doing like a huge, just omnibus of that one. Cause that was her substitute husband, his boss, and that'll be the final. But I'll know it'll probably be about this big. And just doing kind of like an omnibus of it. Just,
hmm.
okay, this is the story, y'all
Yep.
do whatever you want. But then in that case, I think I want to do like a gold leaf version of it to make
Hmm.
it worth your while in getting it, or having some kind of special kind of thing to go with
Yep.
it. Something to make it kind of worth me printing it, because yeah, that ain't gonna be a $25 book. That is clearly gonna be some 35 to $40 book
Yeah. Yeah.
that I will look
But
at
I
it and
mean,
do
just think
love.
about it. You're getting more than one story. You're getting more than
Yeah.
one story. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take that because because I
Yeah.
think that's the stress part about serial writing, is that people don't understand. You are putting together this story, but it's kind of setting up for a world of other people. And even
Hmm.
now, as I write this story, we already have touched like 4 companionship books that are already out. So like
Hmm.
one of the brothers works at a mechanic shop, which that mechanic who owns that shop has his own story. And then the
Right.
lawyer that they deal with, he has his own book. And then,
Hmm.
even the lawyer she deals with, her lawyer, has her own book. So
Yeah.
I don't think people really understand the worlds that we have already set up, or worlds that we are going to be setting up. So
Hmm.
you are, when you're joining a serial read, it's just more than just one
Yeah.
story. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the readers get the benefits of it from. Because somebody was asking, they were like, well, why do you have to have a subscription? Why can't they just pay a flat fee? I was like, well, it's better if you have the subscription because you can get to all the other stories. And we'll go into platform in a second, but I love that I have it so like once I introduce that story, I can go over to their subscription thing and say, hey, immediate access to this other
Mm-hmm.
story you can have.
Yeah.
So I do like that in terms of like when we're writing, you can just
Mm-hmm.
open it up and you can't do that in a book. You can't just go ahead and highlight, okay, we're talking about this book in here or we're mentioning this book, click on there and bam, you got access to
Mm-hmm.
the story. So I
Yeah.
think that's fun. That's the fun part. The
Mm-hmm.
appeal of being a serial reader because it opens you up to so many avenues of this story
Right.
plus another story plus another story. And
Mm-hmm.
it's darn hard doing it.
But just the response and the feedback and the
Hmm.
interactions with the reader, it makes it to me very worthwhile to do it.
Right.
So
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's go on to platform. So you use
okay.
Patreon.
Hmm.
Tell us why did you choose Patreon out of all the other platforms that are out there?
Honestly, ease of use. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually on Patreon and Ream, but some things started happening over at Ream, and I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing over here. I don't know if I need to be involved. I haven't. I mean, my account is still there, but there's nothing there. So if anyone
Mm-hmm.
joins, they're like, "What is up with this?" There's nothing there. So I was like, so right now it could be that I might go back if their issues are worked out, but I don't know what's happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying Buy Me a Coffee a little bit, but I I couldn't get into the platform. I didn't quite understand how to maneuver in it. Maybe I probably didn't give it enough time for me to understand how to maneuver in it. But Patreon was just pretty easy for me to start my
Mm-hmm.
collections and start posting and schedule my posts and schedule and set up my chats so that the readers and I could talk. And to do that based on tiers so that the extra information and different things that happen for the people that are on my higher tiers, I could
Mm-hmm.
have could go on and do that and not and give them that access that they paid the extra money for. So it's just that the different things that were available. That I
Okay.
did look into how other people had theirs set up to try to
Mm-hmm.
help me figure out the best way to do it. There's probably still more tweaking that needs to be done, but like anyone that I have 4 tiers, so anyone on the 4 tiers can get the main stories that Darie is writing and my
Okay.
serials. But
Okay.
only the people in the top 3 tiers get the EPUB once it's finished um,
Oh,
and edited. So
okay.
the bottom tier does not get the EPUB, but the bottom tier is only $5. So
Okay, so the bottom's here. And then how do you, so we're going to go into
I
how
say
you
the
set up
bottom
your
tier, but
tiers this week.
the introductory tier. Yeah, so I have an introductory tier. They're my darlings. Then I have delights, decadence, and divas. So
Oh, okay. I like that. That is
so
cool. That is
yeah.
cool.
So
Okay.
it's just levels of access and also access to my other pen names. So any other pen name that I have right now, I just have one other pen name, but any other pen name I
Mm-hmm.
have, if you are on in the top 3 tiers, then you have access to what I write under that pen name as well. And the same rules apply. If I publish it, somebody irritating you, ma'am. If I publish
My
it,
husband,
they
I
get
made a
a EPUB.
mistake and I ate his sandwich and I thought it was my sandwich and he's looking for his sandwich and I didn't want to interrupt
Oh,
him while he was looking. I thought it was my chicken salad sandwich and it was his tuna sandwich, but I had already bit into it. So I was like, oops, but we're married, so it
sorry.
don't matter.
It'll be okay. He'll be all right. He'll be okay.
It was good though. It was good. I'm sorry. Okay,
That is
so
the thing
we
about
have
those, though. It's almost hard to tell, especially if the aroma isn't real bold. It's almost hard to tell until you taste it that it's not what you thought
it,
it was.
and it was good tuna, so I didn't smell the difference till I tasted it. So yeah, I just let him know it was really good tuna.
Mhm. So, yep. So I get that.
Okay,
I get
so
that. I get.
the,
Yeah.
how do your readers respond to your tiers? How do they start off at the low and then say, "Hey, I need more," or do they kind of stay at the low and then unless you offer something else to those other tiers?
Most sometimes what I've seen just trending is sometimes people will start at the low and then
Mhm.
because the notifications come in when I post anything. And
Mhm.
some people have FOMO. So if they see that something's been posted, but they don't have access to it, they're like, "Well, I don't have access to it." Oh, because you're, and of course, Patreon does a great job of saying, "Subscribe to this tier to have access to this, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Oh, so if I just give this much more, I can." And so I do have a decent turn upgrade of where people will start on the tier, but some people are completely fine with this is the tier that they want because
Mhm.
my other pen name is spicy 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 more than my normal spicy, and they might not want that, so they're like, "Okay, well, I don't need to know about the extra spicy stuff, so I'm okay over here. I still get a lot at this level." Because you do at that tier, you still get a lot.
Okay.
So
Okay. I like that. I I'm still trying to fight like how to do the tiers. So
hmm
I just kind of have
right.
one tier or a premium reader. So,
hmm
you can do the monthly, which I have now for $3. And then, I offer all the stuff to them. And then the premium is that you can just buy it, fill it out, just get the story that I'm working on. Because some of them just want that story. I do
hmm
like the reminders that you send out, if you want this, then you should do that. So I think I will start adding more messages of, hey, if you guys want access to this, you should, you know,
hmm
go into being a
right.
member because I do need
hmm
to do more member kind of things. I have like, they can get the short stories and they can get, I
hmm
usually do two live stories, two long live stories, and then they'll get a short story at the beginning of the year, and then during after the 7 days after Christmas, they can get a bonus story plus a
hmm
brand new story is going to be published by January 1st, so they'll get that story.
right.
And that's to help me carry on the membership. Like, okay, this is why you have this membership. You need to renew. You know,
hmm
don't
right. Right.
don't cancel because you got this brand new story coming. So that kind of keeps me on track to keep that membership up. So that's
Right.
kind of how I'm doing it. Because I guess because since I'm the one in charge of it, I think if I had like a membership assistant or something, maybe it probably would be more. But I'm just
hmm
trying to keep it simple.
Keep it simple for
We
yourself.
not
Yeah. And I
right.
think that
Just
was
keep
the
it
other reason
simple.
I went with Patreon because it was easy for me. I just set that stuff up and I don't have to monitor it. It just
Hmm.
happens. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything about it. All I have to do is just post my stuff, make sure I click the right buttons so that the right
Hmm.
people have access, and I move on. And then there's some things that, I will delay the access on so that, my top tiers will get it first, or my paid members will get it first, and
Hmm.
then my non-paid members will get it. So they know that if I had been a paid member, I could have had access to this information sooner.
Right.
But,
And
and
that's
there
what I kind
are
of do
like,
for
hmm
the 7 days after Christmas, to so you didn't get that free story that dropped
hmm
here and here and here, but now you can get access to it here. And hey,
yeah,
some of them will wait. A lot of them will say, okay, when is this story coming out? I'll be like, hey, it's not coming out to the general until the
yeah,
end of the year, and that'll make them go in. Now I have mine set up on WordPress because I'm so spread out.
hmm
I kind of want to be like I said, I'm doing it myself. So I kind of put everything on WordPress where they can just pay the membership there. And then I have my store there, and then I can offer the discounts there. And then I can kind of do all the other stuff that I need
yeah,
to do there, for password protect and everything like that. So I kind of just stick with, my WordPress website. So then
hmm
I can just I'm just trying to
Right.
keep it as simple as
Right.
possible.
Right. I
I
get
was
that.
thinking about Patreon. I was actually thinking about Patreon, and then someone was like, "Oh yeah, and then you should do Substack or something like that." And I was like, "I don't
Yeah,
want to
that's a
set up a
whole
nerd
other thing.
blog." Yeah,
Right. That's a whole other
I don't
thing.
want to.
Because
Yeah,
I
I
was
didn't want
thinking
to
about
set
starting a
another.
Discord just to make it easier for us to have a subscription level where we could talk like this.
Mm-hmm.
If have monthly whatevers with certain levels, or when a book releases or all that stuff. And so that was, we have chats or whatnot. But I looked at Discord. I have not been able to just figure out how that would benefit, and
Mm-hmm.
also if my readership was even interested in, because I only had a few bites of people that like, yeah, well, maybe if you had one, I might come, but they're not really there. And which Discord
Right.
started as a gamer thing anyway. They get on and they game together.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it for other stuff. um but that is one aspect that I think I'm missing in Patreon, because I am a 18 plus. The video option isn't really there for me
Mm-hmm.
at my level. It might be there
Right.
if I have, about 500 subscribers, but unfortunately that's not where I am right now. So I don't have 500 subscribers,
Now
and
I
they are
know
not like
on
seeing me as a big money maker for them to offer me extra stuff like that.
Now,
But
I have done the YouTube where I will do a live and then people can come into the chat in the live, and I can actually make that a private kind of live. So it can
uh-huh.
be a private live, and then people can come and do the chat on the side, and I can
Mhm.
answer them as they come. I have done that before where I've published it on my website and said, "Hey, members, here it is," and it's a members only post, so only they
Mhm.
have the link to that live, and then they can come and then ask me questions about, the story or what's going on and blah, blah, blah. I need to start doing that again because I used to do it a lot back in the day, and it was really popular because they would show up and we'd have lunch together, and then they
Mhm.
could just ask me questions. And so it does work where, they would just come ask the questions in the chat, and then I could chat back with them. And then it was
Mhm.
just one time, it was one popular girl who had like a whole bunch of she had a whole bunch of subscribers, and then she requested access. And I was like, oh my God, you can come on and we can talk. And she just fell out her chair. I was feeling bored that day. I was like, hey, let me just talk live. I was terrified because you never know what
Mhm.
they're going to ask you live.
Mm-mm.
I
You have
can
no
handle
idea.
chat because you can
Hmm.
say, oops, I didn't see that question. Okay, let's go to the next one.
So, but yeah,
So that was like,
there
you
was
can do that.
there
Yeah.
was something you said earlier, and I meant to address it, and I forgot. When you were
Uh-huh.
talking about how you gave like the first 20 chapters or something are just free to have. I do
Uh-huh.
something similar. I do
Mm-hmm.
have certain, like when I'm starting something, the first however many chapters will be available
Mm-hmm.
for public, or well, for everybody, including my free members.
Right.
But and then there's some that I make public for anybody if they haven't joined yet, but if of course over 18, so they can't search me, but they found me and they can read it. But because I do write steamy spice, sometimes I can't do that, because if they get down to the bone chicka wow wow in those
Mm-hmm.
first few, I can't have that public.
Right.
It
And
can
that
be
was
available to
it.
my membership, but I can't have it public. So,
Right. And that's what I was actually going to start doing. I'm actually going to use MailChimp pop-up screen that comes up and asks you, do you want to subscribe? I think I will have like a statement that automatically, so I don't have to worry about what thing you came in on my website. You'll automatically get that pop-up. And
mhm.
in that pop-up, I think I'm going to just use MailChimp to say, you must be 18 to be on this site. So if you get out of that pop-up, you made the choice.
Mhm. Mhm. And it can't
I
be
didn't,
said that you did not alert them that this was 18 plus
right,
material. If you ain't supposed to
right.
be here, go on about your business.
I know.
So,
And if you don't want to be here,
yeah. Oh, because no, I'm not gonna say that because that is off on a tangent. But the adults who buy books that are designated for adults with clear warnings that there's adult stuff that people do to each other in these books, and then they get upset because the people did the adult stuff to each other.
right. I think, yeah,
Sorry,
that's
man. What?
maybe,
What?
or, or
What?
you have a trigger, and you have a trigger warning. You put a trigger warning clearly on this book. Um, I don't know what you thought was going to happen when the title says her substitute husband, his brothers. I don't know what what church girl material you thought was going to not happen when
Because,
the
ma'am,
title clearly. But I did in the beginning have one girl. She was like, "Oh well, I didn't think it was going to be like that." That what part of that title did you not
that is not
know?
ambiguous. That title is not ambiguous in the least. What did you think the
Brothers.
husband was? The substitute husband was just gonna be the guy that come and mow the grass? I mean, he mowed some grass, but it ain't the stuff outside.
He's like a beaver. But yeah, I had one she was like, well, I just thought, what did she say to me? She was like, well, I just thought, it would be one and the other and then the other. I didn't know it was going to be like a full on. I was like, that can happen in those types. I was like, how did you not know it wasn't going to happen? Because even in her substitute husband, his boss, it happened. And so with the book almost sounding like the other book, that's what you kind of look forward to. So yeah, I realized even when you put, and I was really like first trying to like, okay, well, let me go through all the stuff. And I was trying to make a list of all triggers. Okay, this will happen. Non-consensual, dubious consent, blah, blah, blah. And then I was kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to say one little sentence. If you're going to clutch your pearls, just close this book. Just close this book.
Pearl clutches need not come here. No pearl clutches here, please. Thank
Please
you.
don't read me. And I feel like doing like a promotional campaign. Just don't read my book. I'm gonna just be a de-influencer author. Don't read my book. Please don't even open up my book. Just
Mm-mm.
please, if you get offended by too many commas,
I personally
a
think
lot
some
of
of these folks
ellipses.
just somebody stumbled across their reading materials and they were like trying to prove that they were not. I didn't know it was like this. See, I'm writing them a review right now because this is awful stuff that they're doing. And I hate it. Like, but you have 82 of these books like that though.
Thank you.
Just the ones that
Thank,
I see on this first page. It's like 82 of them. Do I need to open these other tabs? Because I'm sure there's some more in there.
thank you. And I just yeah, so, yeah. And I'm at this point of, and I know, and I'm kind of blessed that I have gone through okay, you need to tightly watch, the triggers, or you need to tightly, monitor who comes to your site, or make sure that you have the signs up that says, okay, you're
Hmm.
entering territory that if you don't understand what's going on, just leave. You kind of have to start putting those signs back up on your websites again,
Yeah.
because of where everything is going. And I'm not I'm not upset about it. I think we've gotten a little lax about it. And I'm one of the culprits, gotten lax about it. So I don't mind going back and do those things that, okay, you know what, to your fragile sensibilities, just don't read
Hmm.
me. I would rather you not read me. Don't pick up this book. I'm just get like I'm gonna go to I'm gonna have tables, vendor tables. Just do
Hmm.
not read this book, you know,
Listen,
because it
listen.
becomes just ridiculous. So in that regards, okay, so we're gonna move over to the publishing part. So we've gotten through the
Okay.
platform, and so your readers can, once they subscribe to your Patreon, and that means coming to your website, then going to your Patreon and subscribing. Um, after the story is over, what happens? Like just do the regular readers just, okay, that's the end of the story, and then you kind of prepare for the next readers, or do you keep something going in between? And what do you do as an author and as a writer? Do you take a
Mhm.
break? Is this like you say, okay, I'm going to take like a vacation,
Mhm.
get my mind right, or do you just jump into the next book?
I probably mostly just jump into the next book. I might have a day or so. Because now,
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing. I write Monday through Friday. I don't
Mm-hmm.
write on the weekends mostly. So I give myself a little break every week
Mm-hmm.
anyway. Um, but I pretty much, since I have two or three things going at once anyway, I have a book that
Mm-hmm.
a book that I'm writing that I'm probably going to try to publish it within the next 3 or 4 months, and then I have my serial that's going, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have my spicy pen name that I'm doing something for, which is almost a serial as well because it'll probably be 5 months before I have enough material to publish whatever it is I'm doing on the spicy pen name.
Mm-hmm.
So because it doesn't get 100% of my attention, it gets a little bit. Um, my main story, I have my serial, and once my serial is done, like where I am right now with Draft Pick Season 4, my serial is done. And I've planned my next one, but I had to focus because I have a couple of books that were on deck that needed to be published, and one was published on Thursday, which is Diviner Soul Book 2 in my series that I'm writing, my fantasy series. And then I
Okay.
have the cowboy romance that I'm writing, which is in Peyton Banks's world, Silver Creek Ranch. So I have a story
Okay.
in that one. Had to get those finished. But
Okay.
in the meantime, I've also been expanding some stories that I wrote in anthology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on deck. I'm going to continue to do that when I launch this other series, which, I'll start writing on that series this coming
Mm-hmm.
week. Um, but the first episodes will not come out until next week. So I will do it the same way I did for Vela. I will launch my little campaign that, hey, guess what's coming? I'll
Mm-hmm.
start marketing that and doing that. What was the other part of the question? So yeah, so I will give myself, I and actually got a little grace this week, but since I have so much editing to do for the other stuff, I may not have been writing, but I was still working.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the thing. And that's what happens at Serial Light. And I'm not necessarily putting Vitaly off, but I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to, because I'm usually not super attached to the words, and I can just say, okay, I don't really need that. I just love him, and I don't I'm like, well, why do I have to do it? So,
I
but
know.
I'm gonna have to do something. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand. So
but
I guess
that
right
is
now,
that is where I am right now. So.
yeah, that's kind of how I am now. I'm in the middle of, yeah, the serial, and then I'm trying to do a Halloween book. Trying, it's like the
Mm-hmm.
first seasonal book
Shoot, I
I've
got a
ever
Halloween
done.
short story I need to write. Uh-oh. I'm glad you said that. I'm a part of something for Coastal Magic, and we're doing flash fiction short story for Halloween. And
Oh,
I have a short story I'm supposed to write. It doesn't have to be very long, so I need to get that done though, so that it can.
I'm glad I can remind you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because that lady would have emailed me and say, "Hi, Dory, where's your story?" And I would be like, "Huh? So but it was on my list of things, but for whatever reason, because I just, have these releases and these things coming up, it was,
Right. It's a lot to
yeah,
do. It's a lot to do.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of that. And plus, I've actually had to push back Delilah's Desire Part 3, which is the last book in that book series, to November 1st. I was supposed to come out with it October 1st. So I'm moving that to
Hmm.
November 1st to give myself grace because it was a lot of closed doors we had to address. And I was like, well,
Hmm.
I'd rather have quality over, just trying to push it out and then pulling it back and saying, hey, there is a
Hmm.
mistake. So I was like, okay,
Hmm.
whatever. So
Right.
I have to do that. But I'm glad I got the cover done. So now all I have to do is
Yeah.
just the formatting. And once I get it back from the editor, the final edits, I can just boom, boom, boom. And I have that. So that's what I'm waiting for. During that time, I am writing the Halloween story because I want to be able to release that by the 27th.
Hmm.
I'm going to release it for the members the 27th and then the 31st for everybody else. So that kind of
Okay.
a little bit earlier. I'm giving myself grace. I'm trying to see if I can release it earlier that week before all of like a week
Mm-hmm.
advance before Halloween. I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
because it would be awesome for members to be able to, hey, here's a Halloween story, and I've never done this before, and let's see how this goes. So that would
Mm-hmm.
be kind of awesome if I could. And then preparing
Mm-hmm.
I'm preparing for a January 1st release, but all the while I'm trying to put her substitute husband, his boss, on distribution for the Black Friday kind of thing.
Okay.
I wanted to have it available for wide distribution as boom, kind of like a release of that. And I kind of like the appeal about having like so many serial books is that you can like publish them wide whenever you feel
Mm-hmm.
like it. You're like, hey, I need some extra money. I think I need a refrigerator. Boom. I need a bike. Boom.
Yeah. It's
I think the
nice. It's
appeal.
nice to be able to have that, which I'm not in the position to hold a book for a long time. So I know Vitaly won't sit there forever, but right
Right.
now there's a lot to do with it, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, right now I gotta be able to put the time in with it. So,
Right. So when you're
but
coming up with these publishing projects, are you thinking about moving? And this is kind of like a push to the future. Are you thinking about having the audio and stuff for more of your books?
I'm looking into that right now.
Hmm.
I'm starting with the smaller books because
Okay.
they're smaller.
And it's cheaper? Yes.
Yeah. And also I think with the smaller books there are different ways that you can get them to audio that may not require so much personal outlay of funds
Mm-hmm.
than with the
Mm-hmm.
larger books, because with the larger books it's a big risk for the narrator to wait to be paid with a
Right.
larger book than with a smaller one.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm pushing towards the audio on, and I'm kind of making it available only on my site for right now. I have a huge catalog, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
slow progress. But yes, I'm pushing the audio more on my site than pushing it towards wide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making some books available and I'm trying to that, and then I think that's why I'm trying to rush this kind of serial novel that I'm doing now because I want it in audio so fast because it sounds so
Mm-hmm.
good.
Right. And there's some readers. I was just talking with my cousin last night because she was like, "Are you on Audible? Because I need, audiobooks. I could be a real reader if I was on audiobooks." She was like, the books are heavy and all that. And I was like, "Girl," I was like, so I'm telling her ways that she can get her audiobook experience before the Audible is out, before there is an
Right,
Audible. But the fact that I know that there are readers that would like it, but just physically holding the book, or people with vision impairments, they don't have access right now
right,
to my stuff, and that's a problem for me. So.
right. And that's I want to, yeah, and I want to make it so. So I was like, I think in the coming, in my in my gut feeling, I think as we move into 2026, I think more authors are going to be doing proprietary stuff. Like you have to get it off of their site. You have to get it directly from
Mhm.
them, especially with the way you don't know what state is going to allow you to publish your
Yes,
romance.
right.
So,
Because
you
heaven
know,
forbid a woman gets loved and taken care of, and in all the ways, and enjoys being taken care of in all the ways. How dare you write something where women feel good? Stop it.
right, I know. You bad, bad, bad.
Right? What? Just say you were never able to get somebody there without saying you were able to get somebody there.
Just say you're
So
ugly. Just say you're from the
you did not
inside
measure
out.
up. Right?
Just admit it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a whole nother show.
Anywho, but yeah, that's the thing. I know because I've seen like Theodore Taylor, who is like innovating all the time. It seems
Hmm.
with those things, has that, because she still has some KU stuff. But what happens is whatever she's got will be available to, like, on her platforms and through her website up until
Right.
she releases. And then it goes away from there so that she can still have her exclusivity with Amazon. But she also has those people that want to support her and don't want to contribute to design who will do it there. So
Right.
that's one, and you already have the mechanism in place because you're already doing something similar anyway.
Right. And that's what I was doing. Like, because Developers Desire is on KU. So what I was
Mm-hmm.
going to do is have, and that's why I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have that paperback or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I might do is do just audio. I'll have the audio books and I'll have the paperback books available on my website as well. So
Mm-hmm.
if you buy directly from me, you'll get a bonus audiobook with it. So that'll
Okay.
kind of, if you pay them $40 for this book,
Yeah. That's actually a really good deal because audiobooks are expensive.
right? I can insert the audiobook because my husband will
Mm-hmm.
actually do the audiobook for me. So I can just
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and pull that, put it on my website, and then boom, you can have this with this. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll give them, and just the appeal of it, and like you said, especially the disabled or the busy readers,
Mm-hmm.
can have something. And I'm slowly like, yeah, letting people know, hey, audiobooks are going to be available, especially exclusively on my site for a lot of my books. And it's working out well where people are coming in and just get that traffic and getting them used to buying exclusively. I think that's the hard part. And I've been, studying
Yeah.
Theodora, and I've been studying Ines Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how their traffic is coming in and what are they doing, and making sure I'm
Yeah.
kind of implementing those things. Because that's
Yeah.
kind of the hard part, is just getting them to buy directly from you. And that's just so hard. So we can move on
And it's
to
ease of
marketing.
access. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ease of access because with the big names, you're able to go to one website and get to all the people you like instead of having
Uh-huh.
to go to all these individual websites.
Right.
So I
Right.
get it.
And that's it's just the hardest part of just saying, hey, follow me off this site and support me. And that's what I said. I think in 2026, a lot of people will be doing that. They will be, because in the beginning, I'd say probably in about, I think it was like 2006 to probably about 2011, a lot of people had that mindset. I'm just going to support this person. I don't care
Mhm.
that I have to go off this website and go over to their house in order to get them. I'm going to
Mhm.
support them. Then people start
Mhm.
getting just lazy and saying, well, I kind of want it all in one place. So I, with like the way e-commerce is now and where it can link up to things. So like I'm making sure I have things like Stripe, and I'm trying to incorporate like Amazon cart into my website. So okay, you can leave from there and come over
Mhm.
here and you're still linked up. You don't have to go find your purse, get your credit card. I don't want you to have any problems with that. And I
No,
think
no
as more,
roadblock. Yeah.
no
Yeah.
roadblocks, I think as more and more authors learn about e-commerce options, we'll have better control of, okay, bringing those audiences there. Because,
Mhm.
I mean, they're about to get rid of chats on Facebook, which a lot of
Mhm.
people use that as a private way to keep their customers, there, then what? So I think in terms of us taking more control over our e-commerce life, I think in 2026, it's going to really pop off. And I think a lot of us need to be in the forefront, especially us, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
We need to be in the
Mhm.
forefront of setting up our sites so we can accept cash. We can accept, whatever you got, baby, I work with.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, because I know I'm
Roofing.
not using my WordPress site to the fullest capability of its use. I
Uh-huh.
know I'm not. So, yeah.
And what I did was I have like an option where you can buy some of the books, and I'm gonna have bundles on those on my WordPress site where you can buy it in all different options. But I then started incorporating Gumroad into my site. So where the store is at, so you can click buy, and then Gumroad pops up and then
Mhm.
processes the payment and sends the book to them. And then what makes it
Mhm.
easiest for me is that if you come back or your computer blows up, you can't get to any of those files anymore, all you have to do is sign into your Gumroad account, and you have all those books there. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about using BookFunnel, but then BookFunnel don't keep with what you bought, and
Yeah, well,
I
it
need,
keeps up with that individual's. If whatever that's on their book phone account is theirs, all they have to do is log back in, and all that
right,
stuff is there. But it's
right,
not necessarily going to say you bought this from this person, this from that person. It's just going to be a list of the stuff that you have available in your account. Those books are there for you to download again.
yeah.
What are you laughing
So
at?
I
What
was,
happened?
no,
Oh, you were
no,
laughing. I was like, what happened?
it's fine,
Because I'm
it's
not seeing
fine.
any comments, and I know that there's been people here, and they might have had something to say, but I don't see any
I
comments on here.
know. I'm looking for them too. But yeah, I decided to use Gumroad because then it keeps up no matter where you are, and then I don't have to do kind of customer service of trying to find out if you bought it from me or not. So
Hmm.
I chose that one, and then it incorporates so well with that with WordPress, and I was like, oh, okay. Once I saw that you can use affiliate links, I was like, what? Let me pop it
Yeah.
over here. Let me
Right.
pop it.
Right.
And I just thought about it. I can put Delilah's Desire on my WordPress site and then use the affiliate link from Amazon in there. I think I will
Hmm.
start doing that. I just thought
Yeah.
about that. Thank you.
There you go. See, talk it through. Talk it through. So, okay. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
marketing and promotion. Marketing and promotion. So this is our last one. Um,
Okay.
how do you do it?
I'm not that great at it. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm good at a lot of stuff, and that's not one of them.
All right.
um, cause so I mean, I love to make. I make the graphics. I put them up on social media. I'm doing that. I haven't had a lot of success trying to do like the Amazon promotional ad stuff, so I haven't been
Mm-hmm.
doing any of those. And I know it's like some kind of miracle blessing from the heavens to be able to get on one of the book club ones. So. I
Right.
haven't. So basically, I really use social media a lot to
Mm-hmm.
try to market. And you know, I have my things that I do with my taglines and snippets from the story to garner interest. And what is it? I think Zena Wynn was one of the people that said that people have to see something from you like 15 times. Was it
Right.
15
Right.
times
And it has to
before
be,
they,
yeah, a minimum of 15 to 20 times before they even think about
yeah,
like even looking your way. And then they say up to 22 to 20 to 30 times before they think about even giving you any kind of money. So yeah,
right.
you got to be in front of them a lot. So yeah, and I
Hmm.
kind of do the same thing. I think the one of the things I found recently is that
Hmm.
I've been doing the Amazon, not the Amazon, the Instagram,
Okay.
because I found that the for us in our romance tropes, I found that the Amazon ads don't work effectively.
Hmm.
Um, because it's too much money in the game, number one, and then number two, a lot of times it feels like I'm being suppressed. A lot of times that even if I'm putting my money towards it, I'm not getting the benefits of it.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't think I'm being pushed to the right people that I should
Right.
be pushed to. And so
Right.
it feels like a waste of money. I'm trying to say it as gently as
Yeah.
possible.
And
I'm
that's
hoping
my
I'm
experience with Facebook as well. I mean, I did the targeted ads and I like did my little categories and like where I
uh-huh.
wanted it. And then I'm looking at my metrics and I'm like, why are you sending it there to some small European country that I don't even know of? Do you think there are a lot of black women that are interested in interracial romance in that play? Because I mean, now I recognize it as more than just black women that read my books, but
Right.
I
But
don't
why?
have any sales from that small Slavic country in Europe that you just push my ad out to. And those old men are definitely not
Thank
buying
you.
my books. So,
Right.
what are you doing? That wasn't even in my setup for you
Yes.
to go there. I'm telling you, US, Canada, because that's where the people are that buy my books. Now, I mean, I got like 5 readers in Australia or something. I think they got some friends because I'm noticing those numbers pick up just a little bit. But, and it's like a few people in the UK and somebody in France. It's like when the book comes out, she gets a paperback. I'm like, thank you, girl. But, for the most part, it's US. And then you see how small it is because I can tell you the numbers for those places. But in the US,
Right.
I couldn't tell you which state it is because it's just
The
numbers.
US.
And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
US and Canada. It's just numbers. I'm like, okay, so if I tell you these are the places, why are you sending it over there? They don't. You trying to get me pirated? Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to tell these people I
Right.
wrote a book so they can run try to find a way to pirate it? Is
You're
that
trying to
is that
get,
what's
yeah, you're
happening?
trying
Because
to
they
get
already doing
blocks.
that.
So,
I don't need you to help them find me. So
right.
yeah,
Right. Now,
that's my marketing thing. So
I have done like the Instagram. So I have done the Instagram, and then what I'll do is I do
mhm,
ask ChatGPT to kind of give me some really good hooks to get people to click through to the story. I did that with Delilah's Desire, and I got a really good response. And I went back
mhm,
and I pulled those, and I used it in advertisement when it came out as a paperback. I
mhm,
mean, when it came out as an ebook over on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm doing the same thing now. I just started doing the same thing now for the current serial that I have to see if I can. So I'll let you know. Um,
okay.
I just checked GPT to give me some call to action hooks that could get them just to click in through to the story to see if they will start like reading the story. And I put a good landing, I sent it over to a good landing page over on my website where you find out about the story, all about themes and the tropes, and then you get I link all the chapters there as well, so
Mhm,
you can just start reading the story, up to a point. But I'm gonna see how it goes because Delilah's Desire went really well. A lot of
mhm,
people were coming through and picking up the story, they'll go over to my website, then go straight over to Kindle Unlimited, which that's a good thing where they are
mhm,
clicking. We're
mhm.
gonna see how this goes. I think it should be positive. And what I'm doing is,
Okay.
if anybody want to know, I'm telling it to do uh, about 2 weeks worth of ads. So I'm gauging it. I'm not doing like a whole month. I'm doing two
Mhm,
weeks, seeing how those go, and then waiting. And then so I may spend maybe about, I say I'm doing maybe about
mhm.
about $30 to about $50 in the ad. So every 2 weeks I'll go in and see what happened, how it happens. And then WordPress gives me actually stats on if those campaigns were working. So I'll go into WordPress and say, hey, I just did a campaign and give them the link to the campaign. And they'll actually monitor it for me so then I can come back and see.
Mhm.
And I know that's a little bit technical, but it kind of helps me gauge to see if that money paid off or did I get paid back for that
For that.
campaign. And
Right, right.
if it works, I'll run it again. If it
Mhm,
doesn't work, and that's what I was doing with Delilah's Desire. If it worked, I'll run it again. And if it doesn't work, I'll change it up a little bit more, or I'll even go back and tell Chat GPT, um, I didn't get good from this campaign. Can we work on something else? And then it give me
mhm.
like some more hooks I can try to use. And then I'll just go from there. I'll pick from those that they suggested and then go from there.
Okay.
I will let you know because if that does garner me more views to the story, I think everyone should know that.
Mhm.
Everyone should
Yeah,
know that.
absolutely.
I kind of do the same thing you do where, I'll go to social media and you see I'll still post in the Vela groups.
Mhm.
I still post at least once a month in the Vela groups, and that does get the views up. I like
Okay.
that, that
I
the
was
views.
wondering if people were still over there because I see them, but it doesn't. Nothing comes up in my feed. I'm still in them, but nothing comes up in my feed.
Right.
So.
So I picked like a bunch of the Vela groups. I still have like my Vela list where when I did do a new post, I would go over those Vela groups. So I updated the list when I started this serial, and then I updated the list of because some of those groups have been archived. So I
Mhm.
took the archive groups off the list and stuff. And then once a month, I'll go in with a picture Or now Facebook lets you share to groups when you post to your main post. You can also
Mm-hmm.
share to groups. I'll go through and
Yep.
share to those groups, and then I'll get a bump in readership in terms of coming into the website for that.
Okay.
So
So I need to go
that
back
has,
to those telegroups is what I'm hearing, because I thought that no one's was even over there anymore looking at that stuff. So I haven't been posting in there.
well, they are, and then some people are like, I've gotten comments where it says, "Hey, I used to read you over on Kindle," or I've gotten that. I've gotten old readers to come back, that
Mm-hmm.
that I hadn't seen in a while, like from the first novel I did. I was like, "Damn, I ain't seen you around."
Oh, that's been a minute.
Right.
So.
So I've gotten that. I'm using in Canva. I'll use the podcast new blog posts kind of
Mm-hmm.
layouts for the book, where I keep it where the three brothers are there, or she's there, or I've been trying to slowly hone my Chat GPT image thing.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly trying to do it. It's kind of hard, but I'm trying to keep up with like how I describe everything. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm doing that, and then doing like a carousel kind of post on Instagram where you can get like three pictures. So the first picture, like a Chat GPT image of Tori and three brothers, and then
Mm-hmm.
then the next slide will be okay, the announcement of the book, and then new blog post or something like. So I've been kind of doing like that. I have been slacking on my TikTok because
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
um, I need to do
It's
it, but I don't.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I do get more views when I put my face up, but putting my face up is a whole lot more effort for me to get in a position and all that. And it's not that it's easy, because I'm out here. I get fixated on what the image of the characters are in my head. So when I go looking for them, if I can't find that exact person, it really bothers
I
me, and
know.
I get bogged down. And I'm like, okay, no, I need to find the people. I need to find the people for these, because I want to post aesthetics. But I'm like, I can't post aesthetics because I can't find my people. I can't find my
Right.
people. I can't post aesthetics. So, so it's a
Yeah,
vicious,
it's
cycle.
a quandary, and you get upset, and then
Hmm.
you get upset because you're spending too much time when you could be editing or writing, and you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I just won't be promoting today. I'm just gonna post and write, and then people are like,
Yeah.
well, okay, you're not getting views because you didn't promote, and like, you know what,
Yep.
writing and editing was so
Yep.
much important than me trying to do it. So yes, definitely. So that's kind
Okay.
of where I am going through the
Yeah.
same thing. I think I'm going through the same thing with you in terms of
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
We're in it
But I
together.
love that I have the readership. I love that I
Mhm.
have the readership, and maybe because we're content with what we're reading, that we're probably our biggest fans.
Possibly. It's possible. We'll say. But yeah, I love having the readership. I would like to have more of a readership.
Of course,
Just, but I'm also not willing to get in bed with the scammers who are talking about, well, I can do this for your book. I don't think so, because I
right,
don't think you actually read my book. I think you read the blurb and the
right,
sample. Maybe, and you
hmm
fit it all into ChatGTP to write this letter for you that you wrote for me, that you wrote
Thank
to me,
you,
to make it seem
thank
like you
you.
read something, but you didn't read a thing. So no.
Right, of course, especially when you mentioned the book I wrote like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh no, I had somebody who was really good. The book I just released, they came in and said, I think the diviner's soul needs more attention. And it start detailing, if you've written a wonderful book, then blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you sent this at 12 a.m. Well, not 12 a.m. I think it was like 2:30 or something on release day. You read it already? Because I only sent out 5 arcs. And I know that. So the only people who've read it are these 5 arc readers and people on my Patreon. So how do you know? Because you couldn't have read it that fast. How do you know?
Wow.
But whoever it is very persistent, because they sent me 3 other emails after that. Like, hey, just circling back to see if you're still interested. I never said I was.
Right. I like that. I like Yeah, yeah. That's another show.
Mm-hmm. It is, and this has been great. But I have some proofreading to
Okay,
do.
we're getting ready.
So
So let everybody know what you work on and what you're working on and how people can find your serial stories. And then we can get
okay,
out of here.
okay, sorry. All right. So
Oh.
what I did work on, what I just finished, was book 4 in my draft pick series.
Mhm.
So we have 1, 2, 3. And this is book 4. That was my serial Vitaly. Vitaly Antonov, hockey player. So, that is it's sports romance. So, for anybody that did not know, that's a sports romance series. And Vitaly, he's the only one who was an active player at the time. The rest of the guys are retired. So he's retired. He's an active player, and it is an older woman, younger man, because he is like 32, I believe, and she's 40.
Mhm.
Um, and an heiress. So she's the richer one in this situation. However, he is still the man, being the man, doing the man things. So, um, and I super enjoyed it, because, she was like, "Oh, but I'm older than you." And he was like, "You keep saying it like it matters."
Right.
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 So I love that he brought that through to her. And I'm done with that one. And it is, getting ready for the editing process that I'll do my self edits before I send it to an editor. Um,
Mhm.
and then the next thing that is on deck serially will be my Blacktooth Summit. They are it's Paranormal Shifter, and they are wolves. My Central Valley Pack series is
Mhm.
their menagerie. They have wolves, bears, all different kinds, but the Blacktooth Summit are very homogenous. They are only wolves. That's going to be a problem when he meets his mate. I'll just say that. Because I love the fated mate things. Um, so that is what's on deck. That is what will be happening within the next couple of weeks. I will start writing that serial. So if you would like to you would like to read along as I write that serial and want to join my Patreon, then you should go to my website, www.dariemccoyllc.com, and you can click right there, join my Patreon, and start reading along as I'm writing. And that is where you find me. I am on the socials. I am Author Darie here on Instagram. I am Darie McCoy in most places. Either if it's not Darie McCoy, it's Author Darie. I'm on Threads, Facebook, TikTok. I have a Lemonade account. It's pretty much just my old TikToks. I'm also on YouTube as Darie McCoy. And I have started putting some of my videos over there on YouTube. So it would be
Good.
great. Join me over there on YouTube. I need to get my
Right. So
subscriptions
we
up
can go
so that next
live
time
more
Sylvia
on
wants to talk to
YouTube.
me, we can go live over there together.
We
Just,
can do
we
some
can.
writing, some live writing together. We can do some writing
Yes,
stuff.
yes. Because I do some live writing sometimes with Kenya Gore Bell on TikTok. Sometimes I'll get on, do that. Or sometimes she's writing and I'm sewing, because that's one of the ways I express my creativity when I'm not writing. I sew.
You
So,
gotta tag me when you
yeah.
do so I can come in and see.
Yeah. So
That
I'm just
sounds
over there
so
sewing, and I talk to people, and I sew when I talk to people. So,
fun. Well, thank
yeah.
you for joining us today. I appreciate you and having patience and everything. And I will,
Thank
of course,
you.
download this and put it up on YouTube so everyone else can enjoy it as well. And I'll make sure I tag you in it. So I know,
Awesome.
like, we've been talking a while, and I really appreciate you guys doing this and dealing with our technical difficulties as we figure
I
this
appreciate
whole
you. So,
landscape and
hmm
getting the word out about more serial writers. So you have a
right.
great day, and I appreciate
You
you
too.
so much.
Thank you.